Hi, hello, and welcome back to the Real Horrorshow podcast. I am your host, Samantha, joined as always by the Stormy Skies.
Hello, listeners.
Today's an important day. Stormy has finally finished the originals.
Yes, I finished the show, and now we can finally put it to bed. And it took a long time, but this last season once again was very good, and so I was able to binge most of it this week on Wednesday, and then I finished it on Thursday. I think something like that, or Tuesday night into Wednesday, midweek. And as we record right now, it is Friday. So yes, but we're done. Rest in peace to the originals, and then Sam and I can finally start a new show or something else, whatever she chooses. Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah, so the originals ended with everyone moving on in their own way after. Yeah. So what happened is Haley died. Hope begins experiencing the effects of the Hollow, because if we remember in season 4, the Hollow possessed her and was basically going to kill her because she can't handle that power, or was going to take over her body. And so she ends up killing someone more or less by accident.
Yes. It was the Irish boyfriend.
Oh yeah, Haley's Irish boyfriend. She killed by accident.
Recipes.
Because she and Klaus were working together to find ways to contain all of her emotions, all these feelings inside of her that were tearing her up on the inside, and the way she was able to cope with that is through senseless violence by beating the shit out of people. And Klaus was like, all right, beat the shit out of me like a good dad.
Yeah. But then like something like weird, there's like this weird like moment, and tell me if you felt this way too, is whenever he was like, she's like, I don't want to beat on you, and he's like, well, who? And she's like, oh, that boy that I used to like, and he was like a Nazi. And he's like, okay, I'll go get him. And what I'll do for you is I'll tie him up in the basement and chain him up. And then he's like, I want to watch you beat on him. And I was like, this is kind of weird. I'm glad he left and she made him leave, but I was like, Klaus, like, ugh. Did you get that vibe? Do you remember that part? I know it's probably been a while for when you watched it, but I was like, oh my God. So that was a little too risque for me. But other than that, that's what ended up happening, is we got the Nazi boy. He's not really a Nazi, it's just his mom.
His mom was a Nazi.
Yes.
Vampire Nazi. So whatever the equivalent of Nazis are in the vampire world. Yeah. So I think Declan died because of something going on with the Nazi vampires.
Wait, I think I'm wrong about Declan. I think that I'm thinking back now, and I think that she killed like some other like man, and then Declan was injured, and I think I remember Marcel giving him blood to survive. Because at the end he's like part of the human faction, but then he's told, but that's very blurry, Sam, so he could be dead or not be dead.
It's blurry to me as well, because it's been a hot minute since I watched.
Yeah, it's blurry, so he's alive or dead, but he's out of the picture.
So the Nazi vampires attack Haley's funeral. Klaus is mad because he wanted to be there for Hope, but because of everything with the Hollow, he couldn't be the way he wanted to. So he was only there in spirit until the real funeral with the wolves. Oh yeah, this was a big part. The funeral, he actually shows up in person as they light Haley's remains on fire. And because he's with Hope, the world starts like crumbling around them, because that's what happens.
Yeah, like the river burns with fire.
River burns, lightning strikes, shit just hits the fan.
And she's like, stop, Dad, go away. And he's like, I love you, Hope.
Yeah, he says, I love you, Hope. I'll always be a phone call away.
Yeah.
And as he's leaving, he passes out and wakes up in a dream world with the rest of his siblings. And this is the episode where we finally get real Elijah back, is they have to solve puzzles in order to escape. And they find out that they were locked away like this so Hope could take the Hollow back into her. That's a big, important plot point.
Yeah, she did.
And Marcel tried to stop them, so he ended stop her. So he ended up in the dream world too, and he works on some shit with Rebecca.
I'm glad they
And-
did that because yeah.
And by the end of the episode, we have Elijah back.
Elijah is back. But I'm still mad because Haley died and they couldn't be together.
Yeah.
And I'm
But
sad
I mean,
about
we
that.
do find out they had some last moments together.
Yes.
When she
absolutely.
found him in France and they spent an evening together. And even though he was with his vampire fiance, he couldn't deny that there was some spark there.
Yeah, he would have went for it.
Also, Haley is somewhat responsible for Elijah erasing all of his memories, because when she found out about like who he was before her,
she
was scared to be with him, and suddenly she's like, I'm sorry, I love you.
Oh, you know what? I thought about that too. I was like, why is this happening? I was like, didn't Haley not want to be with him anyway? Like, and he couldn't take it. Like, because she's like, oh, I'm like afraid of you because you're like evil. I'm like, no, he's not, dude. Like, chill.
Like,
right?
like he would have probably just separated like the rest of them, but because of that, he had his memories erased. So when the time came, he was useless.
Yes, he was. He had to get all his memories back, which was a painful process. So like it was just like double work for Elijah all the time.
But eventually, in the final 2 episodes, Klaus takes the hollow inside of him to protect Hope during her first transformation, because she killed someone. She's going to become a wolf, and the hollow is going to kill her essentially if she transforms into the wolf.
Something like that.
That's the basic idea of it. And so he takes it inside of him so she can do the transformation safely. Basically, he's going to die, and he accepts that he's going to die. And the final episode is just his family come together
and have a funeral while he was alive still.
To bid him farewell. Caroline shows up and kind of confirms that eventually they would have gotten together. But
they would have gotten together, but back up a little bit. He did have to like enlist her 2 twin witch daughters to do the spell because they're so strong. So she was in a couple episodes for a while. But anyway,
but they had their moment. She said, he said, well, if I weren't dying, would you even be here? And she said, no, I'd probably make you chase me for a few more centuries.
Oh, yeah.
And I've read that Julia Plec, the showrunner of both Vampire Diaries and the originals, didn't want them to end up together in the end because it would be a disservice to Stefan's legacy. Who even wanted Caroline and Stefan together?
I did, and I thought that was very strange.
It was weird.
I can't believe you just brought it up, because now I'm gonna think about that. And also mentioning Stefan, there's a part in one of the episodes where they were in like the school for like the special children, and Hope was like, this is Stefan Salvatore's diary, and I have it practically memorized. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh my god, that's right, everyone's dead already.
So Stefan is dead.
They're all dead.
I don't think they're all dead. I think the ending of the Vampire Diaries was very weird, where it implies that they all die and will reunite in the spirit world. However, in this set of the timeline, I'm pretty sure Elena and Damon are still alive and living in Mystic Falls as humans.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they died at the end of Vampire Diaries. It's just implied that that's how they're all gonna end. It's just like the fucking ending of Lost, right? Where
like I haven't seen Lost, but like
I guess it's not. So the ending of Lost, they're all in purgatory, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, no, it's not saying that they all died on the plane. It's saying that they're all going to die eventually, and they're all just waiting in purgatory until everyone arrives. And and so I think that's what the ending of the Vampire Diaries is, because I've read on Reddit that it's weird that Elena and Damon never show up in the originals or Legacies, because technically they're still alive and living in Mystic Falls.
Right. Yeah, it's only like we only get Caroline, Alaric, and then Matt. Right? The cop Ginger. But Matt. he dies because the bench is dedicated to him at the end. And I was like, oh, I guess he's dead too. Like Sam, I don't remember who's dead and who's alive.
That's true, because the only time we saw Matt was,
but I think we saw him.
We saw him before the 5-year time jump in the originals, when when Elena was originally asleep. So like during that sleep period, maybe. I think.
Right. I bet you that's probably it, because I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, when is it? Like, but it's our fault too, because this is the type of thing you have to watch, like, it, like, you can't take that much time apart from it, and I took a lot of time from it, so it makes you just forget everything. But anyway, yeah, rest in peace to Klaus and
Elijah,
because Elijah was like, I just want to, my life's work is to watch you be great, and now we can both die.
Which is like the saddest story arc for Elijah.
Really sad. Yeah, I was like, damn, Elijah, like, come on, man, like, your whole life is not just Klaus.
But he decided it was, so
he did.
It ended with Elijah and Klaus stabbing themselves with the white oak and dying on a public park bench. So I hope someone's going to come and collect them.
Well, no, they stabbed each other because they both had the thing to the other one's chest, and they pushed in. But then I agree they should come collect them, but it also looked like they were turning into ashes. So maybe they will just blow away.
Well, that's true.
But it was fucking public.
Yeah,
I was like, guys, come on, guys.
That ending felt kind of hollow. It might have been because of my tendency to watch the show at 1.5 speed, but it was just kind of so, like, with the Vampire Diaries ending, we do get that weird, like, epilogue where Elena's saying we all die and we'll all join together in the spirit world. But with this, they just die, and we don't really see, like, the epilogue of Davina and Cole living together, Rebecca and Marcel getting married. Oh yeah, Freya and her girlfriend got married, but who cares?
Oh no, but they wanted to Vincent to be the dad.
Yeah, they're gonna start a family, and Vincent is the sperm donor. And they'll figure it out.
It's gonna be Freya, right? It's gotta be, because they're best friends, but they're also gonna do it.
I guess we're gonna figure it out.
I wish they would have showed something. I was like, wow, interesting. Vincent's like, yep, I'm down.
So I think that's where the ending fell flat to me, is we didn't get that epilogue of seeing the Mikelsons grow old, but maybe we'll get that when we eventually watch the Legacies.
And that is how many seasons is that now? Like 3?
I think it's only 3 or 4 because it got canceled. So even with that, we're not going to get, like, a conclusion, like a good conclusion to the Vampire Diaries universe. Right. But we'll get to that when the writer strike is over.
Yes, please. I just need a little break from the Vampire Diaries as it is. So that is fine with me. But that's that. Sam's right. They both just died. And then it went right to credits. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll just have to picture everyone being happy.
Yeah,
that was it.
Everyone's happy. The end. The next series we're gonna watch for the mini show is against Stormy's will, kind of.
What is it?
Deathnote, an anime.
God, okay. You said you wanted me to try to describe to you what this was about.
Yeah, so I get your apprehension for anime because you worked at Hot Topic, and I know the kind of anime nerds that go into Hot Topic. I was friends with them. So I completely understand, but Deathnote is very good, and it's horror adjacent. And I would say the memeiest anime part is the quote, "I'll take a potato chip and eat it," but I don't want to spoil the context of that. Okay.
So from what I know about Deathnote, like, I do, like, I'm not reading about it, I'm just looking at these pictures, and so it looks like it's 1 season, so that's doable. That's just enough to start with 9 episodes or whatever, and these look, what, 30 minutes each? Okay, so that'll be fast.
They're 30 minutes each, and I think the series in total is 36 episodes.
Oh, the series in total is 36 episodes. Oh, it goes
it's a very short series.
Damn, 37, girl.
Anyway. So close.
Yeah, you were very close. That was very good. But from what I understand is that Deathnote has a notebook where you can draw someone in there, and then the demon will kill him. Right? Am I very close? Something to do with something like that. I know there's a notebook, which is what Deathnote is you write something or you draw something, and then that may curse some individual to have, like, this demon, or this demon is doing the bidding of this kid. And So we'll see. But that's all I know.
Okay.
But I know this scary guy is the demon. And that's all I know because I know that picture of him. And yes, we did sell a lot of merchandise for Deathnote at Hot Topic.
Because you would have been working at Hot Topic when Deathnote was like the anime.
Yes, definitely. And so it looks like this came out in 2006. And I began work at Hot Topic in 2000. I started in 2009. So like it was still probably very popular.
Yeah, 2009 would probably be when Adult Swim was airing the English dub.
That was my next question is this in English or is this in a different language with subtitles?
I'm not sure what Tubi has. Usually you have the option between either one.
Which one should I watch for? Like, what should I do?
I'm not a snob. You can watch either one.
What do you do?
I like the English voice dub.
Okay, I'll do that.
They have a very good voice cast. I'm sorry to true weeaboos out there. I do a lot of stuff while I'm watching shows. It's hard for me to sit down and just watch movies with subtitles and just be in the movie.
Yeah, it's like I just want to hear the words.
I want to be able to work on my cross stitch while watching a show, and dubs allow me to do that. I'll also watch subs, but I can't always commit to reading subtitles.
Yes, I'm sorry. Because it does take a commitment. And so this looks like many episodes. So I want to just start on with the right thing. And it looks like this is on literally every platform.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But I have Tubi and I have Hulu, Amazon, Netflix, all that stuff. We'll watch it on Tubi. Mystery.
Yeah. It's like a mystery. I classify it as horror because of the Shinigami aspect. But it's a cat and mouse mystery.
See? Very cool. Okay. Well, cool. We'll start this, and then since it's so short, I wonder how fast I can get through this. Let me see.
Trying to remember clear arcs in Deathnote.
Well, there's 10. Okay, so there's 30. There's 37 episodes. So we can break it up by like 3 or 4 minisodes.
Okay.
Or less, you know what I mean? Like watch like 10 at a time or something like that.
Okay, you want to do 10 at a time?
8 out of 10 at a time if I can. I'll probably be able to do that because they're so short.
Okay, let's. Sorry, I'm thinking.
What should we do? Ooh.
Yes, let's do 10 at a time.
Okay.
Until we get to a certain episode, and I will tell you to stop at that episode.
Stop. Okay.
Without continuing on.
Okay. Okay.
Because while it's weird that it breaks it up into seasons, whatever you're looking at, because I don't really think there's defined seasons, but there is like one episode with a very clear shift and time jump that changes the tone of the show. So that'll be the episode I say, don't watch past this, and we'll discuss what's happened.
Okay.
And where we go from here.
Good. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so we'll watch Deathnote, and then we haven't watched the movie because Deathnote is a movie as well.
There are several Deathnote movies. There is the American adaptation, which was really bad.
Was it? Oh man,
I was not happy. They completely missed the point. Because that's a Netflix original. We can get to it when the writer strike is over.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say that's Netflix though. Yeah.
So there's 3 live action movies in Japanese. 1 and 2 are basically just abridged versions of the series. And then the 3rd one is a spin-off called Elle Save the World, which is based on a light novel that was released in Japan. Those are all Japanese movies. And then there is actually a musical that's opening this fall in London.
Of course.
So one really cool thing about popular anime and anime culture in Japan is they do stage musicals of a lot of the really popular shows. There's like 20 Sailor Moon stage musicals. And I think there's at least one Death Note musical.
Okay.
So there is a lot of like other stuff we could get into, but because the Japanese live action movies are just retellings of the series,
Okay.
like I like some of the setup they do in the first one with one of the characters and then her introduction in the second movie.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're necessary to watch because they don't add anything.
Yeah.
And I want to say there's even a live action series now that is very different from the anime.
Okay. A live action. Okay.
Yeah.
And it looks like I'm looking at the Deathnote American adaptation, the one on Netflix, and it was a 1.8. It's the lowest I've ever seen.
So the one positive I can say about the Netflix movie is Willem Dafoe plays the demon.
I see that. I was like,
and
dang.
And I am so mad that this is the American adaptation we got, because Willem Dafoe as the demon is spot on casting, and when we start watching the show, you'll get why he's absolutely spot on to play the demon. But the movie is just such trash and so very try hard to be edgy.
I see.
It's like if someone didn't watch the anime but walked into Hot Topic, saw the t-shirts, and made a movie based on the t-shirts.
That's what we would get. And that's like, it's actually a damn shame that like I feel like a lot of adaptations of things, especially like video games, that's kind of like what you get is like, I looked at this picture and I read a summary and then I was like, I'm gonna make a movie about this. And it shows. So that sucks, man. I'm sorry. Well, I guess we're not gonna be watching this movie. Might as well just not even, we could do it for fun, but like later.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when it first came out, I did a live tweet on our Twitter page.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
Very unhappy.
Very unhappy.
But anyway, let's discuss what we're going to do next week. And it's not finalized, but I'm putting together a spreadsheet of 5 to 10 YouTube horror shorts.
Oh, excellent.
For us to watch and discuss.
It's in our drive now.
It will be once I'm done.
Damn it, Sam, just put it in there to start.
Sorry, I forget. I did it in my personal and I forgot to share it with.
That is okay.
I forgot to share it with others. Share with others. What's your name?
Share with others, yeah. That's okay. And have you decided on a short that you want?
So far I have 2. I'll decide on how many we review based on how long each short is, because I know they can range from like 5 minutes to 20 minutes. So right now I have Heck, which is a short film by the guy who did Skinamarink.
Okay.
And then Piggy, which I recognized because there is a full-length movie called Piggy
that too.
Now.
Yes.
So we'll watch the short film of that. Okay. I think it's about,
sounds fucked
well,
up.
the full-length movie is about a fat girl who gets revenge on her bullies. And then I'm going to try and see if I can find Laura Hasn't Slept, the short film that Smile came from.
Oh, yes.
So that'll be added to the list along with some others that I've heard about that are really good.
Yeah, make sure you add the one that you mentioned to me about Ari Aster did like a short.
Oh shit, yeah, that's a 45-minute one, so that could be its own
that's
episode.
Not bad. Yeah, that's like a okay, yeah, do that. And then I've got the spreadsheet here. I just have to add it to my thing. Add shortcuts drive. Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, so wonderful. So we have all this stuff ready to go, and it will be a surprise what we will be watching for next week. But in the meantime, I'm going to start my first anime. Will I like it?
Anime? I think you'll like Deathnote.
Yeah. And then
it's a serious anime.
Okay.
We'll go from there because I did find out the Genji Ito anime on Netflix currently is the one that didn't get great reviews. However, there is a new one coming out on Adult Swim very soon, and I'll see if it's going to be streaming anywhere.
Okay.
that is going to be more faithful to his artistry, his art style.
Okay. Excellent. So the man that wrote the book. Okay. Book. Okay.
So,
and what 13 volumes of Deathnote in the complete collection. Wow, very cool. I do remember probably selling these little notebooks that said Deathnote, and it's just like a notebook.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You have absolutely sold those.
Absolutely. And then I see these pictures of this little kid with this apple, and then the scary demon behind him that looks like he's wearing like a big black feather boa thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we will just dive right in and see what happens. Right,
dive
guys?
right in.
Yeah, because it's almost fall and it's almost spooky season. I'm really getting these vibes and catching these fall vibes lately.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I'm ready for it. Let's do it.
All right. I'll talk to you next week.
All right. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye. No, I don't have.
And there's a creepy dog that always follows